It's the J.R. Hendrick Texan gentleman dealing with the early life of J.R. Hendrick in a narrated format. Enjoy the fun, my friends. Welcome to the special episode of the Swainfield Barbecue, where we go from a young couple in love at a convention to a blushing bride. On the other end with me, since JR is still in Waco, it's his good friend Stoney Rosen. Howdy, Jimmy. How you doing? I'm doing good. Stoney is hailing all the way from Snyder, Texas. He's a good friend of JR's from his, I think it was his sophomore, junior year in college. So, we're going to go ahead and go to the convention bell. Okay. This is the convention call and chorus of the bride. 7:30 a.m. MDT. The Gulfstream carrying Jim departs from Flagstaff bound for El Paso International Airport. Jim is excited to see Betsy one more time for the weekend. 9 a.m. Central. The Spalding car. Let me put this thing on Do Not Disturb, because I don't want any more distractions while I'm... The Spalding car pulls up into the drive of the ranch, and JR puts his luggage and suit in the hatchback and climbs in the back with Kristen. You can imagine what was going on in JR's mind. Yeah, but listen to this. Kristen's like, last night, I got the 3rd degree from Mommy. Always, we're wondering where I'm going and who I'm going with. I'm not a child, Kristen protested. And Donna Spalding says, hey, stand up for yourself, girl. I had to do that with my mother. Tell her what a good husband Larry will be. Seriously, girl. The last thing you need is to have me deal with someone that's trying to run your life. Now, I'm not going to have that, Gerald said. Oh, JR, you're so sweet. Just hold me. It's a tender moment. Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Mountain. The Radisson in El Paso, Texas. Betsy had booked 6 suites. One was for her and Jim and Christine. Another for Kyle, Madison, and the 2 boys. Another one was for Jennifer and a couple of other friends of theirs. 3 other sweets would be for some more Christine's friends. You don't know how much I miss someone. So much for you every day, Betsy said. That ranch has Mama all over it. And so it gets a good break for it to come to you and to be at Amy's wedding. Honey, I think now that we're all unloaded, we should let Christine play with her friends and doing just nice, hold each other, have a little love. You know what's going on there. Well, they don't get to see each other that often. 1 p.m. Mountain. In the den of Thomas's house, Jim and Betsy talk with Tom and Diane. Tom Swain's house, Betsy's brother. And Tom says, we have a sweet rehearsal dinner tonight at 7. Rehearsal is at First Presbyterian at 6. Greg has told everybody in the family, don't try to throw a bachelor party for him. Now, traditionally, we do that. But Greg is from a different stock, Tom said. And Jim said, I remember my bachelor party the night before the wedding at the ranch. Your daddy said, you can have anything you want. Want to drink? Anything? Just no hookers. That sounds like Granddad Swain. Gentlemen. And, it was not hard to find the point that was in his car the morning of the wedding. Like, I really care. If you remember correctly, Tom, Daddy used to do the same thing. And Betsy's like, sis, don't make an excuse for what Dad and Mother used to do. I think that's why Gerald declined to have the ranch, Tom said. Now it's 3 p.m. Central. Waco Coliseum. JR whips out his gold card and pays for his ticket and Kristen's ticket to the Emerge Family Reunion Convention of Amistar. How did you know to do that? Wait, how did you know to do that? How did you know to do that? Bruce could have taken care of your tickets. Donna said. Hendrick family is wealthy, Larry said. My friend here is trying to save us the extra hotel and ticket expenses. Okay, so it's 5 p.m. Central. JR orders catfish dinner for everyone in the room. Which really surprises the heck out of one of the Spalding sponsors. Kelly. A Nigerian American professor. Hey, if you got all this money, why are you wanting to go with us into business? Kelly asked. I need the experience and skills. I'll start law school this fall. When I get out, I'm going to need all the experience I can get, Jared said. Elias Grace, our lead sponsor in Lubbock, would love this. You'll have to find some way to introduce you to him. Elias Grace is going to come in a future episode. So now it's 7 p.m. Mountain. It's a great rehearsal dinner at First Presbyterian El Paso. It's a smorgasbord buffet, if you will. A Mexican and Italian. It was obvious to see Amy and Greg sitting there hand in hand, almost even arm in arm, realizing how much they loved each other going into the marriage the next day. Okay, it's 7:30 p.m. Central. At the Emerge family reunion, JR and Kristen are sitting there listening to some of the speeches. Although JR is not too happy about the rah, 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 rah crowd of the convention. Well, they didn't know what to think of it. He thought that was crazy, and to tell you the truth, back in the day, I thought this was crazy. But then, I don't know. Law school, JR changed. 9:30 p.m. Joe Lamb, a multimillionaire, head of the Emerge family reunion convention, is speaking. It's obvious he's bound to a wheelchair. And he's talking about the American dream of business ownership and wanting to have men look after their wives so they can too live their dreams. And with that, JR starts taking copious notes. 11 p.m. Central. Larry and Donna went to pick up some of the stragglers left behind at the convention. So JR and Kristen, they're alone in a hotel room. So they're holding each other in the arms. And JR's teasing. He's like, "Let me push your button," JR said, playing and tickling her. "Go freeze off," Kristen teased, giving JR a kiss. "I missed you," JR said. "I get so lonely in that condo up in Lubbock. But I just know when I'm with you, we can make it right," Kristen said. We demonstrated before the marriage. We demonstrate before the married couples get back. I'll go crash out on the sofa. Okay, so this is not a sexual overtone. No. The Code of Gentlemen, and actually, you join the order of the dove. You make a pledge to do your best to remain chaste. 6:30 a.m. Mountain. Jim and Betsy are having a continental breakfast in the hotel where they are staying. The plan for the day see how much time help Tom and Diane and be at the First Presbyterian Church by 1 p.m. because the wedding was to be at 2. Okay, 8:30 a.m. Central. After the usual convention music, the first speaker was Theodore Miller, a $25 million earner in Amistar. JR started noticing that his girlfriend was taking copious notes, and so he did the same. Kristen used what known as the blind world as a slate and stylus to take her notes. And, of course, JR brought his computer. Now, it's 9 a.m. Mountain. Meanwhile, at Tom's house, Diane is setting up the things to be placed at the church for the reception. The gowns, the jewels, the food, and the music. Why, Greg's parents have it even set up a horse and carriage to take them directly from the church to Greg's house, where they would change clothes to take the late night flight to Los Angeles. Yeah, Daryl said they were honeymooning in Acapulco. 1 p.m. Central. Mountain. Jim and Betsy, Christine, along with Kyle and his family, are strategically sit behind Tom and Diane. And Kyle is smarting off his mouth. I can't believe my buffoon big brother couldn't take time off to go see Amy Kathleen's wedding, considering that they're close. And Madison grabs her husband and she's, by the wrist, and she says, "Not today. And certainly not in a church." See, I think Madison was a bit more civilized than Kyle. Although at times I've given both of them the bill. 1 p.m. Central. Larry, Donna, and Kristen were surprised when JR insisted on buying their lunch at the Cracker Barrel. "So how much money are you into, JR?" Donna said. "Come on, honey. You went to school with his cousins," Larry said. $35 million, JR said. "And you still want to be involved in, and you still want to be involved in the Amistar?" Larry asked. "Well, don't try to discourage him," Kristen said. "Any business is good business. And for what I've seen the past couple of days, I like it," Gerald said. 2 p.m. Mountain. The chorus of the bride begins as Amy Kathleen walks down the aisle, flanked by Christine as maid of honor, 2 friends from college as bridesmaids, and Tom. And this is the minister, still need to do the honor for this one. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join Amy Kathleen and Gregory Beck in the holy matrimony. Who gives away this woman for marriage?" Tom spoke up. "I do." "Will anyone who is against this union in marriage of Amy Kathleen and Greg speak now or forever hold your peace?" The minister gave her 10 seconds for a response. Luckily, nothing. "The rings, please." Greg's 3-year-old nephew supplies the rings. Greg placed the ring on Amy's hand and "Repeat after me," the minister said. So they go through the vows. "With this ring, I thee wed, as an emblem of the covenant, of the bond between us, for better or for worse, for richer or poor, in sickness and health, ye death do you part." And then, and the same thing with Amy Kathleen. And then the minister says, "Ladies and gentlemen, by the powers vested in me of God and the laws of the state of Texas, I hereby present to you Mr. and Mrs. Gregory Forelli." The two march towards the reception hall as some participants throwing rice around the church. Now, it's 4 p.m. Mountain. The wedding reception is in full swing after about 30 minutes of the eating cake and mingling. Everyone gets a chance to have a dance. Their chance to dance with the bride. And then the dance between Jim and Amy Kathleen. For the father, and then the father of the bride got one more dance. Of course, Amy Kathleen gets to dance with the groom, of course. All right. 8 p.m. Mountain. Meanwhile, at the hotel, the Sweet 16 birthday party begins for Christine. And after having some birthday cake, Christine is dancing with David, her boyfriend. And Dave says, at least your dad has the decency to have have us all come up, Dave said. And Christine said, JR is the one that should be here for Amy Kathleen's wedding. Those two were always very close. Maturity, Christine, Dave said. He had to get away on business. More like the lab business. Look, Christine, more like the lab business, Dork. Look. And Christine. In another corner, Jim is talking to Tom. I don't like Clinton as much as I like the next guy. And if you're smart, maybe you should quit. Not until I get some price of what I came there for. When Clinton ran in 92, he promised to fix the economy. I'm there to see to it that he's up to his responsibilities. And Tom says, then you should be a friend of mine. I brought here, that was here for the wedding. His name is Tony Schaefer. I went to Texas Tech with your brother-in-law. I'm a lobbyist up there in D.C. What can I do for you? Twist a few arms regarding the economy in D.C., the Congress and the President, and maybe you'll have a forever friendship. It's giving me the sign of things to come. I would meet Tom Schaefer 2 years later at an Amistar meeting. This was to be a moment of truth for me. 8 p.m. Central. John McGurney Henderson, one of the head of the Emerge Family Reunion, talked about how he went from a bust in America, busted life, to a wonderful second marriage and a prosperous business with homes in Austin, Waco, and Raleigh, North Carolina. JR is mesmerized by this man. Earlier that evening, Kristen had lost her temper. A couple of men talking behind him, and Larry had to remind her that that was unprofessional behavior. 9 p.m. Suddenly the stadium goes pitch black as everyone lights the candles. JR and Kristen have through Larry held light their candles. Debbie LaRue's played Lighting Up My Life. And so, ironically, the Christian's antics, that particular appointment of the night was a very, notwithstanding Kristen's antics, that particular night was a tender moment between myself and Kristen. And I knew that I was going to get involved in Amistar. Okay, so now June 9th. Good. 1 p.m. Central. The majority of the family returns home to the ranch. Of course, minus JR, who is wrapping up the convention in Waco. Of course, at the convention, what's going on in there is that John Henderson is on stage one last time to end the convention. 3:30 p.m. Central. The Spaldings take pictures of the Henderson Mansion just outside of Waco. Donna was talking about their desire to have children soon. A mandate of the Assemblies of Christ. Kristen relates to JR that her paternal grandmother is giving her lots of grief about her relationship with him. This would be a sign of many things to come. Now, 5 p.m. Mountain. The charter jet carrying Jim taxis down the runway and departs for Washington, D.C. 9 p.m. Central. The Spalding car breaks down, and so Larry's parents are called to pick up JR. Luckily, after 3 hours, Donna's uncle from Pecan Grove was able to help restart the car so that they could go with Kristen back to Lubbock. And that is the end of this episode. It's a rather short one. I give it 3.2 root beers, a dance with Amy Kathleen, and the camera lighting ceremony. Stoney? I give it 3 root beers, a dance with Amy Kathleen, and a chance to watch JR's parents dance. All right. With that, we hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to be a bit bumpy from here.